Supply depots at CFB Edmonton stands Canada's only military prison. Its quiet exterior masks the toughest and most frightening penal system in the country. Tonight, Rudowski gives us a rare look at the darker side of military life, seldom seen by outsiders.
The day at Canada's only military prison begins early, 5:30 a.m. Perhaps too early for some of its 14 inmates, but there's no time to complain. Inspection is at 8:15.
Bucket. Stain.
Stain, sir.
When's the last time you touched this bucket?
Probably about 2 days ago, sir.
It certainly looks like about 2 weeks. No excuse. You've been here long enough, you know.
Located in Edmonton, the Canadian Forces Service Prison and Detention Barracks receives inmates from bases all over the world. Soldiers end up here for crimes ranging from going AWOL to murder. But the majority of inmates last year did time for drug offenses. The maximum stay is 2 years less a day. For more serious crimes, however, personnel serve the maximum and are then transferred to a civilian institution. The majority of sentences average about 90 days.
Therefore, there is no time for rehabilitation. It is discipline, and once that discipline has been given, then we return the inmates or the soldier back to his unit.
Smoking, watching television, receiving visitors, even talking to other inmates are all considered privileges that must be earned through a point system. The camp's commanding officer admits life is hard, but says the role of the service prison is different from that of the civilian institution.
The system has to be very, very strict, a very discipline-oriented system, where the inmates, once he leaves there, dislike the detention barracks to the point where he rather go and serve wherever the military leadership may ask them to go. It is not a kindergarten, it is not a Holiday Inn.
Life is a parade. They march constantly, and there's no excuse for not being able to cut the muster.
I can tell who's putting an effort and who's not. When I see them every day, I can see the progress.
This constant barrage of marching and inspections, coupled by loneliness, would be enough to drive anyone to despair. But the Major says suicide attempts have been unsuccessful, largely because inmates are under constant supervision. And because of the chain of command in the staff, assaults also never occur.
Everything is so regimented, everything is so discipline-oriented, and with the staff right on top of it all the time, that the same system that instilled the discipline is the same system that protects the inmate.
Several years ago, the base became the focus of investigation by the Canadian Human Rights Commission. Yet the Major proudly states despite rigid conditions, there were only 3 minor reforms. Prisoners were given the right to send and receive mail, lights were ordered for the solitary confinement cell known as the Black Hole, and adjustments were made to the most severe punishment of bread and water rations.
We had to add some salt flavoring and add some nutritional value to lard in our punishment diet.
It's not surprising to learn there are seldom repeat offenders. Last year, of the 132 troops who passed through here, fewer than 5 returned. There's no life like it. Rudowski, ITV News, at Canadian Forces Base, Edmonton.